Okay, so let's continue. Let's see if this one will allow us to finish. Where was I? Okay, so I was talking about sorry about that. I think I will get across to the technical people, and I wouldn't know why the guy is not here. If you are able to let me know what I did wrong or why am I showing basic. Okay, so yeah, good. So everybody is back now. Thank God. Now like I was saying now, the differences in the structure. Now that helps us to understand when we begin to apply it to every other thing. That helps us understand now. Why GP syntax was having what you call the D structure and the S structure. Now the PS rules have been removed. So the only thing you have is the lexicon. As you're going to see when we are doing the analysis. Hopefully by next one, I'll be able to go to the e-library to use the board for you. You see the D structure is supposed to be the meaning level. And the S structure is supposed to be the output, which branches out to either the phonetic form or the LF form. But in this one now, you see the lexicon is the only thing removing the, what do you call it now? The PS rules no longer apply. Are you guys see there? So the PF no longer applies. I mean, the PS rules, that is the phrase structure. I told you that we started with phrase structure grammar. And all
yes, yes, I'm here.
Hello? Can I go on?
Go on, ma.
Okay, thank you. So now, so what we have is the lexicon now. The rules that used to apply before have been removed. But when you get to enumeration, that is when you see the elements, as you're going to see in the first, when we begin to do the analysis now, you see the first thing that is that there has to be a enumeration of the, what do you call it, of the possible lexical elements, of the possible element that can occur in that structure. You are going to see that they are going to be itemized as you are going to see in your, when we begin to do the analysis. Then the spell out stage is actually at the stage where the element has moved beyond the, it has moved beyond the logical form. So at times the syntactic elements or the syntactic rule can apply, or the structural element can apply at the point of when before the spell out stage. But at times it does before then. So, and what comes out is the structure you want or what you think should be, but it may not necessarily be what the way the other one will say, okay, this is the surface structure, then which can branch out. But then the fact of the logical form as the meaning base is still applying. But we are going to see some funny operations there. Where are the possibility of the spell out actually occurring before even the phonetic form can be realized? So we are going to see that. But essentially what you need to know is that the intervening variables is what has changed in these two grammars. The intervening variables have changed. So that one is one thing that makes it different from GB syntax. So we need to understand that and take note of that. So I can see, as you can see in the innovation that we have above, the PS rules have been removed. That is knocked off. So we can see that now. Then we can see also that the itemization of the verbal elements also are things that can be seen, that you see that as part of the enumeration. And then you see the PF form and the NF form also being there. So what we are going to see now is that what makes MP different is the economic principle. So that one is very, very important that we also understand. And we are seeing two economic principles being operational, because he says that everything should be done economically. And that one he says it's called minimal, the minimalist program is that as minimal as possible for the syntactic structure to be able to be realized. So we have the economy of derivation, and what do we do? Now transformations are feature driven. It is the features that determine the derivation that you have. So when you are going to have a transformational process, it is determined on the feature of the elements that are involved. So these features are syntactic, and that means that when you want to have any element at all, so transformations that are required when you have uninterpretable structures that now, if you are not having a structure that is fully interpretable, and when you talk about interpretable structures, when you have a verb, I hope I'm still talking to people. When you have a
Yes,
verb,
ma'am.
yeah, okay.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
you have a verb, now what will determine whether the action in that verb is today or tomorrow is the tense. So it needs tense for it to be interpreted. Now, the tense itself cannot be interpreted, but when it joins with the verb, then it can have meaning. Without that, it cannot have meaning. And this is what we are saying, that submission are required when interpretable features are not fully specified. That is, they're not occurring alongside interpretable structure. So if you have the gender number, it can only be interpreted when it is joined with noun. So this is what we need to understand. That for you to have a transformation, the feature there must be a feature in it that will drive it. So when you want to have a transformation of a noun that is showing and indicating that it is more than one, then it has to go along with number. If it doesn't have with number, it cannot actually have his number, his feature as a plural interpreted. The same way too, you talk about an objective case or a nominative case. You must have the case positioning for it to be able to do that. And again, we also say that now, if you want to talk about maybe the gender of the verb, I mean, most times we have this, of course, in the third person pronoun. For you to have that happening, that means the gender element must be with the verbal element that you are trying to. And when I say verbal element, I don't mean verb. I'm talking about the what do I call it now? What do I call it now? I'm talking about an interpretable element, like a full noun. So before you can have it interpreted, so this is what we are talking about. Now, when you talk about economy or representation, that one now is a different matter. Now, you see, grammatical structure must exist for a purpose. There must be a purpose why they are existing. So the structure of a sentence should not be just, it should not be more complex than it is required. So for you to make that structure, you don't just wake up and just say, I just feel like writing a complex sentence. It should be that complex sentence is necessary. It should be that there's a reason for it. It should be that it can be interpreted. So if not, no way. Now, in this way, what happens? Redundancy is avoided. Redundancy is avoided so that you don't have a case where you are just having redundant elements. No. Redundancy is totally avoided. So you don't now say now that you have two, okay, let's just say now, you just say that two books now. You cannot just say that there are two books. You must be able to now. So it should be that because the C is not just for the sake of that it is C, it should be because you are able to look at it as, okay, the plural element is necessary for you to know that the books are two. Now, you know that when you say you have the Z, which is the plural element, to book, then it shows that it's more than. Then you need to now say, okay, you are having two books, and say it's absolutely necessary. And that is what we are talking about here. So we need to understand that in this particular case, the economist said that you should avoid a case of redundancy. And we will see that also exemplified in some of the structure we are going to use. So every rule, there's always an exception. Now, when you talk about when we talk about the exception, is the example I was giving now, that when you say now that there are two, it shows that there's plural, but then at times it may be necessary to specify this. So let me also see that what are the other issues that we also need to highlight here now. Now again, another thing that is also good and special about this particular grammar is that the notion of government has been eliminated from minimalist program. The notion of government is no longer there. So it is no longer there at all. Now, this one has now, you now have spell out being what is the new feature, like I show you in the structure of the grammar. So you now see that the spell out stage now is the stage of actually making final pronunciation or presentation of the structure. So it is no longer that like we have in government now, in government and binding now, there are some things that cannot happen within that structure except you apply the government rule. But it is no longer the case in this one now. So at the spell out stage, you can actually have the full structure of the fullness of the structure actually being presented. So the derivation in MP are done by phrases. So these are what you call syntactic domains. It's no longer that it is that the particular what do you call it now? The elements are just represented, but now it is the syntactic domains that are presented before you, and you are going to see that even the structure of your course material is based on that. So your course material is based on these syntactic structures or the syntactic domains. When you have maybe you have the topical form, or you have the verbal phrase and all of that. This is what you have that you're operating with here. So now we just are doing the introduction here, and then we'll continue from next week and start to go into the full-blown operation of this. So sorry. I was going to show you the summary, and I went to that. So we have tried to introduce, give an overview, and then we also try to use the basic structure that we have, the difference between GB syntax and the minimalist program. We have also tried to present before you the two economic principles that actually guide the operations of the minimalism program. So I've tried to bring these ones together, but I don't know if you have any questions before we move on. It's almost time now. So before we move on, so let us have your somebody is complaining how they could not get the audio. Please, you can unmute your mic now if you have a question, please. You can unmute your mic, please, if you have a question. Hello, class. Are we still there? Hello.
We are, ma.
We can hear you. We can hear you, ma.
Okay, so you can ask your questions now. You don't have any question. Oh, you did not even know what I was saying. Hey, clap for yourself. So, see, these my students. That means you guys didn't read at all before you come to class.
We did, ma. I did. I read.
Okay, so everything I said now is clear. You don't have any question. Or you want to think about it? Or did I succeed in confusing you?
At the point, I was confused, ma.
Okay, so tell me at what point? Tell me at what point. Let me see.
I got confused in the minimalist program framework.
Okay.
The one that has, yes,
Okay,
in the
so
phonetic form and the logical form.
Okay, the phonetic form and logical form.
Yes, ma.
Yeah, the logical form is usually the meaning base in the structure. You know, the TGG practitioners, they don't believe in semantics. They don't believe in meaning. So the nearest they get to that is the logical form. Now, if you say that I am a girl, is that okay? If I say I am a girl, what is the meaning content of I am a girl? I don't know whether you are following me. Am I making sense?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Now the phonetic form is that thing you write now. I am a girl. So I can present that. That is the phonetic representation. But what does it mean? What is the base meaning? Now there are two things. The logical form is that I am making a statement. Is that okay? Are you following that?
No.
You are not following
Not
that.
really.
Okay. Now, you know, I am a girl. I am a girl. At the base, the logic inside it is that this is, I am talking about myself, and that person I'm talking about is a young female. Is that okay? You understand it to that point? You are not understanding to that point?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Yeah. So that you have.
Although the audio is bad, ma. Can you hear me, ma?
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you, Progress. Hello.
I was complaining of the audio. I was complaining of the audio, ma.
Okay, it's the audio that is the
but it's
problem, not that
okay
you are confused.
now.
Oh, okay, that's good. If you understand what I say, it's just the audio. Sorry about that. It's just that the funny thing that happened now. I don't know whether the
Yes, the audio was not. Yes,
it is on your end, though. It is on your end. I'm just telling you the truth. It's not from my end. It's on your end. Because to be sincere, my own is very clear. Please, I'm in a class now. I'm in a class now. Call back in 10 minutes. So the audio is
okay. I can hear you now, ma.
okay. It's from your end, to be sincere. This my system has no problem. My system has no problem. Any other question? Any other question? Or if you are okay, then maybe we just end the class. Okay, so you can stop sharing now. Okay, guys, if there are no more questions, thank you for coming. I really appreciate your coming to class today. So I guess hopefully I'll be able to be in the what is it called now? The other class, so that we can actually use what is it called? So that we can actually use the board. So that we can actually use the board. I hope we'll be in that class. So that's just this thing. But I'm so sorry for the interruption. Hopefully I will see. I think maybe because I didn't come in through the Moodle class, that was the problem. I think that was the problem. So, but I see now that I think that will not happen again. So, thank you very much. So, but if you see anything you want to clarify, just put it in the discussion forum. Is that okay? Put in the discussion forum, you can continue to discuss there. So you can go back to the course material, check it. Say if anything you want to clarify, just alert me for the discussion forum. Then I will attend to it. But any of us who can actually attend and help us. Is that okay? So next, so I guess we make it weekly. I said we'll discuss that. I guess we'll make it. Do we make it weekly, or do we still find another? Do we still find another time here? Do we make it weekly?
Yes. Please, I'll suggest another day, maybe twice in a week would be helpful.
Okay, twice in a week. You guys will pay me, eh? Okay, yes, it will be my pleasure. If it's one unit we can do. Yeah, I think in that way we can actually be able to cover a lot more units. So maybe if it's just one unit per meeting, I think that would be good. Okay, I will see. Let's see. Today is Tuesday. Okay, let's see. I think Thursday for now I'm available. I don't think I have anything. At least for now that these classes, school work has not resumed because I get a lot of distraction if it's during working hours. But now that work, so maybe do we try Thursday again? What do you guys say? Do we say Thursday again so that tomorrow I fix another meeting that we go to unit?
Thursday is okay, ma.
Thursday is okay.
Ma. Yes,
Thursday is okay. Okay, are we all in agreement? Are we all in agreement? Everybody can
yes, ma'am.
And tell me if you're in agreement. Okay, no problem. I'll prepare for Tuesday. Unit 2 for Thursday. Is that okay? So I'll set up the meeting. If I can't today, then maybe by tomorrow I'll set it up. Then by Thursday we'll meet. And hopefully I can get to the where the board is, so that if we have to write on the board, we write on the board. Yeah. Okay. God bless you guys.
Okay, ma'am.
See you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I'm ending the meeting now.